Human beings come in all different shapes and sizes, some are small and some are huge. However, it's almost impossible to find two identical persons. Even the twins have some subtle differences. Also, there are some unique people who really stand out among the rest. It is up to us to decide whether bigger is always better or no. There is no doubt that it's incredible to see the variance in the human body in such specific ways. Here are top 10 people with unusual biggest body parts in the world. Extraordinary largest. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified every day for more amazing content. Ayanna Williams. Ayanna Williams has won the iconic title for the "longest fingernails on a pair of hands." Female. Catchy. But with great male length comes great responsibility and great difficulty making a cup of tea, apparently. It all began 23 years ago, when a friend of Ayanna's noticed she'd been neglecting the nail clippers. Pointing out Ayanna's then 3-inch nails, the companion encouraged the Texan native to continue on her one-woman mission to the longest nails in the world. The longest fingernails on a pair of hands belong to Ayanna Williams, and have a combined total measurement of 18 feet 10.9 inch, as measured in USA, on the 7th of February 2017. Ayanna stays away from washing the dishes, and uses antibacterial soap and a nail brush to clean them daily, followed by regular applications of nail hardener and a thin layer of acrylic, which can take up to 1 week to paint. She doesn't come across too much difficulty doing everyday tasks, except for pulling up her trousers. No one has asked how she manages on the toilet, but I'm not sure anyone really wants the answer to that musing. Sure. Jeff Dave. Jeff Dave from Minnesota, USA, has been wrestling. Since he was a teen he can't boast any huge sports achievements. However, he still became quite a celebrity. How did he do it though? Well, just look at his arms. They're incredibly huge, especially considering typical body proportions in the 70s. When Jeff was making his first steps in arm wrestling, many gazed in wonder at his massive arms and shoulders. Over the years they grew even larger, which earned him the nickname Popey. Despite his raw strength and incredibly massive arms, he suffered an unfortunate accident after a grueling 3-minute competition in 1986. Jeff's right arm popped. He then decided to take a break from sports, and returned in 2012 using only his left arm in the contests. However, his arm still looks stunning with a whopping 50 centimeters in circumference. Jerkery obliquate. A girl with a 4.5-inch tongue believes she has the longest liquor in the world. Jerkery obliquate can touch her elbow, her earlobe and even her eye by stretching out her lizard-like tongue. The 23-year-old, from Ocala, Florida, reached over 1 million views on YouTube after posting videos of her tongue tricks online. And now she is planning to enter the record books to claim the title of world's longest tongue. Jerkery receives a range of reactions to her serpent-like appendage. However, Jerkery is not comfortable with some of the more sordid responses she receives, and is happy to dish out a tongue lashing. Jerkery would need to have an official measurement of her tongue from tip to closed top lip to knock off the current record holder, Nick Stoberl, whose tongue measures 3.97 inches. The woman with giant feet. Tawhida Jan, aged 21. From Indian-administered Kashmir, was born with lymphatic filariasis, a condition more commonly known as elephantiasis. Elephantiasis is characterized by thickening of the skin and subcutaneous tissue that causes grossly enlarged and swollen limbs. The condition has affected Tawhida since birth, but has worsened over time, leaving her housebound. Sadly, Tawhida has never worn a pair of shoes because of the massive size of her leg and feet. She has undergone a few unsuccessful surgeries, including the removal of 8 toes, but the doctors couldn't manage to reduce the growth of her feet. But despite the amputation easing Tawhida's discomfort, she is still often in pain due to the condition. But Tawhida refuses to give up hope and dreams of the day she will be able to walk properly and run like normal girls. Lalit Patel. A schoolboy from India, suffers from a rare condition known as werewolf syndrome, which has left his entire face blanketed in hair. Lalit Patel, 13-year-old from Ratlam in the central Indian state of Madhya Pradesh, was born with congenital hypertrichosis. The incurable condition causes abnormal amounts of fine hairs up to 5 centimeters long to grow on a person's face, arms and other parts of their body. Lalit, who is successful and popular at school, says he is usually accepting of his appearance, but strangers sometimes throw stones and call him a monkey. Despite his condition, the teenager says he dreams of one day becoming a police officer and putting all thieves and criminals in jail. Despite being used to his condition, Lalit says he has bad days when the hair causes difficulties with his breathing and sight. The family have sought help for their son, but there is no known cure for the condition. There are various types of hypertrichosis, with the congenital, present from birth, form of it the rarest. It is not known how many people suffer from this type of the bizarre disorder, but estimates online suggest only around 50 people have ever been diagnosed. However, Lalit has received more hurtful treatment in public, particularly when he leaves the village where he lives. Sydney v. Smith. Sydney v. Smith was inspired by Cambodian tribes as well as her love for giraffes to start training her neck to be the longest in the world. She is well on her way, even if she is using an age-old custom tradition in an incorrect way. Smith started training her neck in 2011 and it currently measures at 11 inches long, being held up by coil rings. She started simply by wrapping cut-up coat hangers around her neck when she went to bed and would let nothing stand in the way of her dream. But to examine where she was going, we need to first see where she came from. That's kind of what happened with Sydney Smith, aka giraffe woman. She spent 5 years elongating her neck, and it's pretty wild to see the effect it had on her, both physically and mentally. While it's always important to be who you are, sometimes we get carried away. People were obviously intrigued by Sydney's look, but over the course of 5 years, the questions started getting old. She began to feel isolated and introverted from the rest of society. Maxwell Day. The largest external foot rotation is 157 degrees and was achieved by Maxwell Day, UK, in London, UK, on the 23rd of September 2015. Maxwell was discovered at Minec in 2015 when he saw a picture of our previous record holder and spoke to a Guinness World Records team member to tell them he could break the record. Maxwell can in fact rotate both his feet, with the record value being for his right foot, and his left foot rotating 143 degrees. He saw a photo of Moses Lanham, who was the record holder for largest foot rotation at the time, and told a member of Guinness World Records staff he could break the record point surprisingly. Maximum says that rotating his feet comes very naturally, and he feels no pain at all. Maxwell was thrilled to find out he was featured in the Guinness World Records 2017 edition. I'm now in a book, which I have been looking at for years. Moses, the former record holder for this title, still holds the title for fastest time to walk 20 meters with the feet facing backwards. He achieved the act of rapid reverse pedestrianism in a time of 19.59 seconds. The boy with the giant hands. A boy suffering from a mysterious condition has caused his hands to grow 12 inches long. According to his family, 12-year-old Tarek has had big hands since the birth. The young boy, from Uttar Pradesh, India, works on a tea stall and lives with his brother. Tarek's older brother, Harjan, takes care of Tarek and helps him with simple daily tasks that his hands prevent him from being able to do. The condition, which has not been diagnosed by doctors, has caused Tarek's huge hands to grow to a length of 12 inches. Sadly, that has resulted in Tarek being bullied by his neighbors and friends. He was also refused admission to school. Tarek has been labeled as devil by villagers, who believe his large hands to be the result of a curse. The family has approached many local doctors, but every time they returned with disappointment. Local doctors never helped. Every single doctor suggested to get Tarek a proper treatment. But for us there is no way. He has to stay like this till we have some money for the treatment. He said, I want to get rid of this condition. I want to become like other kids who go to school every day and play like normal kids. I see a hope that I will get normal hands. David Samuelson Jr. David Samuelson Jr. Does that name ring a bell? Knows well. How about the kid with the long neck, or a daddy long neck? Not much is known about his life for his unusual physique. According to David himself, he was born in Flint, Michigan on September 7, 1999. He looks skinny, but is not due to some condition. Though, he was often ill. When he was a child, he had issues gaining weight because his body seemingly can't absorb the nutrients. The doctors say that aside from that, he's perfectly healthy, even though he weighs 40 kilograms, while standing roughly 1.6 meters tall. David is quite popular on the internet. He's featured in many videos and funny memes, and his Instagram account have more than 2 million followers.